Stop it. Leave it.
Yeah, stop it.
There's the Windows source. There we go.
And we try to resolve them. So we have a quite extensive agenda tonight, so we'll get started. Calling the meeting to order at 7:47.
6:47.
Trying to rush right through this. 6:47, yeah. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So
Second.
Oh,
We have on the floor, Lydia, we have an amendment from the floor,
yes.
the agenda.
your item.
Oh,
She has a resume that she thought was going to be on the docket today.
Yeah.
Can she present that now?
Yes, she can move to amend the agenda to add it to
add
action
that.
item.
So moved. Second.
All right,
All
it's
right.
been moved and seconded as an amendment. We vote.
What is she?
What is the action item, Lydia?
hold on.
We just need a title.
It's calling for the immediate withdrawal of American financial and military support of Israel in its Gaza bombardment. All right, thank you, Phil.
Gaza Rezo.
Gaza resident. So that's added.
That will be the vote.
Alrighty. Can we do unanimous consent?
I request unanimous consent to amend the agenda.
So moved. Seconded.
Right.
Anybody objecting to that unanimous consent?
Alrighty. Motion to adopt the minutes with any necessary corrections.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, great, thank you. Not listed on your agenda tonight, we have Lieutenant Silva from the 3-0 precinct that's going to give us a brief update on things in the area. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm Lieutenant Gerard Salvia. Can I stand here?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Gerard Salvia, I'm a Special Operations Lieutenant, 30th Precinct. Real happy to be part of this community. I've been here about 4 months. Quick background on me, I got 16 years in NYPD. This is my 12th stop. Community affairs, crime, various patrol backgrounds, so field training. Love Manhattan North, was in the 2-5 for a bit, the 19th, and now I'm here, so it's great. Real condensed version. I could bore you guys with numbers, but for the sake of time, we'll just tell you a little story. We got here 4 months ago. Crime was going pretty hard. A lot of open drug trades, Montefiore Square Park, different parts of St. Nicholas Avenue. We've attacked it pretty hard. We're going after the right kids. We're not looking at the 16-year-old kids. We're looking at the lifetime abusers and trying to get them on a path to treatment or a path to correction. They choose. Some cases we're making immediate cases where they're going to go to a hospital and get treatment. And the ones that are openly committing crimes and making life very difficult are going through the criminal justice system. Roundabout this time last year, we had roughly 80 or 90 arrests for the 23 period. We're about 140 compared to last year. We got young cops. We're small command. We don't have 1,000 cops. Small command, special operations, about 20 people. So we're out there working. We're looking at the 311 complaints. I just spoke to a new friend of mine here. I got to look at some parking conditions. We've had parking conditions on 133rd Street. We handled some of that with the 2-6 precinct. We partner up with them. We spoke earlier about the train. I was a transit cop for 7 years, working with Far Rockaways, Jamaica, East New York. Got a big transit background. We've been working with District 3, doing joint operations, trying to make you commute. And more important, kids coming home from school. I think it's more important because I'm a coach. And if those kids coming home from school, we're trying to get as many resources as we can to make it safe with District 3. That's pretty much everything that's going on. I'm usually at community council meetings. You check our website. We have build-a-block meetings, one for each sector. 3-0 precincts, a 3-sector command, cover 133rd up to 150th Street. From one side of the water to the other, I think we can figure that part out. But if you guys need anything, I'll be here for a little bit. As we're as I'm here right now, I have 3 operations going on, including a robbery issue I've been having on Broadway. So ladies, let's go back to the old school, the 80s. Let's keep those pocketbooks not on the outside, right? Not in the street. Let's keep them on the inside, right? Let's walk together in groups late at night, you know. Let's not be afraid to call 911. Sometimes when I talk to people, they just want more of the conversation of what they think they should do, or just more of a crime prevention aspect. With that, I have a crime prevention officer with my community affairs. Please keep your car doors locked. Do not leave the key fob inside your car if you have one. Because that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of car thefts or break-ins. Some club concerns we spoke about. We have roughly 12, give or take around 12 DWI arrests in a 20-day period compared to 4 last year. Like I said, we're hungry. We want to help this community. I'm an Ozone Park kid, 5th generation American. I got more nationalities than I could think of. I married a beautiful woman. She's got 3 or 4. My kid's gorgeous, and CYO basketball coach, CUNY College, the whole nine. So, you know, and if you want to know, 80th and Hudson was my home station. If you guys want to take a ride, I'm sure we get some good Chinese food. So let me know. But like I said, we're here for you. We love the community, and all feedback is appreciated. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lieutenant?
Sure.
Quick note.
I got 2.
It is wonderfully gratifying to hear you say about your attacking the open drug trade, Montefiore and St. Nicholas, that you are working to get people on the path to treatment, not just through the criminal justice. So thank you. No kidding.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Hello? Hey, sister. Hey, sister. Did you just call?
Open drug trade they try to have.
Well, Montefiore Square Park is just, I mean, it was almost a shopping mall up until about a month ago. I think you could actually get, am I allowed to say Dunkin' Donuts? I don't know. Dunkin' Donuts now with some ease. You should be able to wait for the bus, not have much of a problem. Our patrol cops are visiting the train station downstairs. So that's where some of the trade was happening in that whole area. Let's not be foolish. Come on, St. Nick, Amsterdam, historical, different blocks, different spots, the bodegas, you know, guys walking up. When we first got here, there was a silver car that was dealing crack, silver Honda Accord. I could be wrong. It was right around Christmas, New Year's. Yeah. We got that individual with a substantial amount of narcotics. And that was based off of a series of community complaints. That was untrue. So the more you tell us, it helps us look in better spots. Again, when you have a team of 6 and a team of 8, and we have to look at 60 blocks, it's nice to know where we should be looking instead of just, you know, walking up and down in the wrong spot. So the more you tell us, the more we can hopefully help you guys the best way.
So how can we let you know? But here's an FC. I would like to let you guys know about going to the precinct and let you know.
I'm at the precinct. I'm not at the precinct Sundays and Mondays. Community Affairs is there almost every day.
Okay.
Please feel free to come down, speak to a Community Affairs officer or NCOs. Not trying to hijack your meeting, but our build-a-block meetings are great because if you live in that sector concerned, you'll speak to your neighborhood coordination officer, whose sergeant is there. I actually go there myself. I have an NCO, neighborhood community background. I'm sorry about the acronyms. And that's where we, you know, build that bond to make the community a lot safer.
Lieutenant. Thank you.
Okay, I gotta go here and I'll get to you, all right? We'll go this way.
Clement McMillan, Columbia University. My question is, what efforts are being made to crack down on the illegal cannabis spots that are popping up throughout the area?
So on page 4 is a list of cannabis spots I have that we're monitoring. We conduct operations as well as we have other interagency conversations. There is work being done on it. I can't elaborate on it, but I'm telling you right now, we're monitoring as I'm here right now. One of my teams have a total operation going on in conjunction with another command. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. Safety is a shared responsibility. So we'll partner with other agencies and commands as needed. My friends in sanitation, we've already cleaned up a lot of stuff and we're going to probably do more together.
Yeah, they seem to outnumber the legal spot. They do.
We're trying.
Okay.
One last question. Oh, there were arrests made I think last year at the Spot Billiards on 139th-ish in Broadway, it's back open. They still don't have a liquor license, maybe BYOB now, but I'm curious if any of the DUIs were involved in that location.
I can't go into that part, but I will tell you this much. I made 2 visits there. One with the commissioner, New York City Commissioner of Nightlife, Commissioner Garcia. Hold on. Sorry, make sure it's not the wife, real boss, right, guys. So we did make a visit there. And when we made a visit there, we noticed, there was no open sales going on. It might be BYOB, but the commissioner took an evaluation. We actually took care of the noise issue that was coming out of there. We gave them some recommendations. On the midnights, we do monitor that block. We do what's called the 75 Charlie, which is a community visit. And that's one of the areas where we do look at, because we want to monitor the crowd. Some people want to have a good time and some people just don't know how. So that's one of the things that we try to do.
Alana?
She had me over here and I'll get to you guys
Okay.
until Vic says I'm done.
Last question.
So one thing that I think it's happening all over the city, but cars that are going through red lights and, on St. Nicholas and 145th, we already know it's a really tough intersection.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2-part question. Well, what's happening with enforcement? Is there any enforcement on that? The other part is there are, because I have school-age kids and there are cars there, but they only seem to be there when the charter school that's right there is open. Like they're not there today, they weren't there this week. And so there's many schools that are in that corridor. There's other schools that are up on like Amsterdam Broadway and my kid goes, on Congress. So can they do something about that? Have more crossing guard present? So that's like a 2-part question. I know that it's the traffic sergeant at the 30th that's in charge of it, but I did call. But maybe you could bring that message back to them.
So what we just did is he's actually assembling handheld stop signs. Which I think we're gonna issue them. It's probably easier to see a red stop sign versus a person who's probably not 7 foot tall with big hands. I think everyone sees that stop sign. Part of the operation I'm doing tonight on Broadway is a Vision Zero, which we're going after aggressive drivers.
There's been a lot of that.
It's tough.
But they can have a crossing guard there, not just when that charter school is open, but because like kids that go to public school and Catholic school, when their school's open and the charter school is closed, there's no crossing guard.
It's something I'll try to look into.
Please.
See me afterwards.
I will.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll just
you.
get the information.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Say that.
Thank you.
I'll stay as long as I can, okay?
Okay,
Just confirming we do have a quorum.
great. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we're having an update on 1727 Amsterdam Avenue, given by Kyle Jeremiah, the new director for external affairs from BRC. Kyle? And Kyle, you put him here? You can, yes. Microphone.
I think so.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it works. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing on this chilly Thursday?
Good evening.
Good. As Victor mentioned, I'm Kyle Jeremiah, the brand new Director of External Affairs for BRC, Bowery Residents Committee. We're a social services organization that also develops and manages affordable housing in New York City. Admittedly, I had envisioned a small, intimate meeting where I'd come and, share a little bit about myself. But given the time constraints and the crowd and the number of questions that I expect, I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. Okay, so I want to start with a brief update, and then I'll give you some context because I'm new, so I imagine some of you are also new, so you have no idea what this 1727 redevelopment project is all about. But
We know.
We know.
well, great, that's good. I guess I'm the newest in the room then. So the project is located at 1727 Amsterdam Avenue between 145th and 146th. It will consist of permanent, supportive, and affordable housing. We're calling it the Hilltop Apartments, as I just alluded to. It includes a new space for the Emma Bowden Community Service Center. It's one of 10 H&H, New York City Health and Hospitals initiatives, and a large mayoral initiative to address the affordable housing crisis in New York City. Now, since my colleagues presented formally to the board last June, there has been a significant update. One core ask at the time was the issue of affordability. Like, can we do more? Like, people need affordable housing, but it just doesn't go far enough. Well, I'm happy to report that, BRC took that concern seriously. We went back to the city and we were able to deepen affordability by doubling the number of 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. I'd add to that actually, another significant update, I would say, is my very presence here today. BRC recognized that, okay, and let me preface my following comment by saying this. I think it's safe enough for me to acknowledge that Community Board 9 would have liked things to be initiated in a different way. I can't speak to what has happened prior to my arrival at BRC, but the fact that BRC is committed to enhancing its community engagement initiatives by hiring someone focused on external affairs, dealing with these issues, taking these issues seriously, listening to your concerns, talking to our partners as we continue to develop this project and projects like it, is testament to our commitment to involving the community every step of the way. I'm also uniquely positioned to talk about this issue since I live just like a 10-minute walk away north. So I'm happy to see so many engaged neighbors. So yeah, having said all of that, I want to just give like a quick overview. Again, the gentleman, my colleague here, said that you all are aware of the project, but just as a refresher for those of you who may be online, in terms of the housing details, so the development would be approximately 200 apartments, plus 1 for a living superintendent. The apartment breakdown, 68% of the units would be studios, 16% 1 bedrooms, 13% 2 bedrooms, and 3% 3 bedrooms. Each apartment, of course, will have its own kitchen and bathroom. The building will be 9 stories tall, and we expect that this project will take 4 years to complete. The first tenant occupancy and relocation of Emma Bowden Center would take place also in 4 years. And I'm also thrilled to report that I met with the folks at Emma Bowen yesterday, in fact. I wasn't aware of just how essential that organization is to this community and the diverse services that they offer. And from a personal standpoint, taking off my BRC hat just for a second, I'm happy that this redevelopment is being done in a way where we can reaccommodate Emma Bowen, given the essential work that they're doing in our community. In terms of tenant selection, H&H will identify 120 tenants for supportive housing. Once they've determined that they are stable and able to live independently, the remaining 80 or so apartments will be rented through the New York City HPD's Housing Connect lottery system. And of course, I want to be able to work with this community board and other stakeholders to come and do a bit of a workshop to teach our neighbors how to use that Housing Connect system and apply online. And we're still sorting out the number of preferential units for Manhattan Community Board 9 residents. I can give you a number right now, but I don't want you to hold me to that. So in terms of the services provided, of course, we'll have supportive housing with comprehensive on-site services. The services will include mental health and physical health care, substance abuse programs and social services, socialization services, homework help for families with kids, etc. In terms of financing, it's been being done through HPD, NYC, HDC, and rental subsidies. And recent funding includes $10 million from New York State HHAP, that's the Homeless Housing Assistance Program, and $1.05 million from City Council Speaker Adams and Manhattan Borough President Levine.
How much from this council and the borough president?
$1.05 million. No, that's yeah.
Yeah, well, capital budget, yeah.
Yeah, so the role of H&H, they're contributing to stable, affordable housing as part of its mission. They want to, you know, they're leasing land for affordable and supportive housing development. I also want to say that you guys may have some land use specific questions that may not be appropriate for me to respond to directly, but I want you to know that, you know, I'm happy to listen to your questions and your concerns, because, you know, we often speak with our partners, but I don't want to give any definitive responses where land use is concerned. That's not my role. My purpose here is to represent BRC. But again, anything you say, I want you to know that I'm giving you my commitment to listening, working with you, and seeing how best we can work together to one, secure your buy-in and to ensure that this project advances smoothly. And yeah, I just also want to quickly point out that, you know, over the next 10 years, it's been said that, you know, New York City requires 800,000 additional units of affordable housing to keep up with demand and population growth. And personally, I'll give you a quick personal story. In my previous life, before BRC approached me, I was working in the environmental space. And, you know, working with policymakers and going into these communities, getting buy-ins for certain renewable energy projects, one thing kept being repeated to me by residents. Yeah, this is all well and good, but we have other pressing issues. People are food insecure. People are housing insecure. So when BRC approached me, what appealed to me is that, you know, the housing approach is a way to make an immediate impact in the lives of those most vulnerable. Whereas, you know, in environmental space, as essential as that is, change tends to be incremental. And someone like me, I just wanted to be a part of something that can make an immediate impact in the lives of my neighbors. So the fact that, you know, when I was in talks with BRC, I heard about Hilltop. I heard that it was in my neighborhood. I was like, okay, well, what is this about? Like, we're having affordable housing in this community. That's great. What I will say, though, is that it is essential to have the community involved in this process. We don't want to have a situation where we have an outside entity coming in and saying, well, this is what we're doing, and that's that. That's not my approach. That's not the approach that BRC wants to take moving forward. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to answer all of your questions. I left my cards here at the top of the desk so that you guys can come, you guys can call me anytime you want. You can email me with any questions that you have. And if I don't have the answers to your questions, I'm certainly going to find out the answers to your questions and get back to you. Because it really is important for us to come together as a community. We have a shared goal. I think it's safe to say that we're all interested in affordable housing. I think it's safe to say that we all want to uplift the community at large. And that's what I want to do. I think, again, I'm not going to speak for what has happened prior to my arrival, but I want to use this opportunity as a reset. I want us to recalibrate and change course. And it is my view that it's never too late to change the course of a relationship. Right. I met Victor for the first time at the PTA meeting at PS 153. The parents asked a number of questions, a number of important questions. as they should, because they have children going to school and they should be concerned. And, you know, by all indications, it seems like they have been satisfied with the responses we've been able to give so far. But of course, the channel of communication is always open, and if they have concerns, they can come to us, because that's what we're here for.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so I'm sorry for going over time.
Let me just frame this. One of the things, and we won't go back too far, but
Yeah.
initially, no one came to us from BRC to let us know about the project. We heard about it when there were dumpsters outside the building, and residents in the area asked us what was going on. But you came after that.
Yeah.
But I'd like you to let people know in the room what type of what supportive housing is, since that'll be the majority. 68%, I think, is going to be supportive housing,
68%.
which means what? Because some people don't know. Newer people might not know what that is.
Yeah.
So can you
So
explain that?
essentially, it's housing that also offers social services. So H&H, they're going to identify
Health and hospitals.
Health and hospitals, H&H. They're going to identify potential tenants, their patients who are now able to live independently, but who still require some support. So, you know, social services may include, like, you know, knocking on a door. Hey, we know that you have an appointment with a counselor or your doctor next week, Friday. We just want to remind you, that sort of thing. You know, as I mentioned before, you know, can we haven't seen you in 5 days. We just want to, like, do a check-in to make sure you're okay. We understand that you're having health issues, that sort of thing. So, and also, like, you know, in terms of workforce development, you know, like, if you need help drafting a resume, that sort of thing. So, we're really trying to support those of us who are more vulnerable. So I don't know if that answers the
how many
question.
apartments will be for the general public, for lack of a better word?
So that's about 80 apartments.
And when you say affordable, what's the income range for those apartments?
Okay, so that's it's about, I'll say 40% AMI for 2 bedrooms. So that's, I guess, roughly, or for the 3 bedrooms, that's about $50,840. For 4 bedrooms, that's about $56,000. 60% AMI for 3 bedrooms, that would be about $76,000, and for 4 bedrooms, or for a family of 4 rather, not 3 bedroom. Family of 3, that would be $76,000, and for a family of 4, that would be $84,000.
So you're saying 76,000 is affordable?
No. You said 40% AMI?
No, this 60% AMI for a family of 3 would be 76,000. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. Have you had a chance to review our resolution from last spring?
I have had a chance to review your resolution from last spring.
Got it. I just want to make sure you knew.
Yeah. I've reviewed all the materials since taking on my
Edwin Torres?
Hi, Laurie. Public office here. We are Health and Environmental. The question that I have for you is, the same one still stands. Have you guys done a community health assessment for CB9 in particular to this project? And if you have, can you please send it to us? Last time it wasn't done, a bunch of people were sent to us, and it was not for community board now. We reviewed the entire paper, 156 pages, and it was not done by you guys for community board tonight. Have that been done? Because now, are you guys intended to do so? We need to know what type of impact this will have, because Emma Bowen is one of the providers in that institution, in that place. We have many other providers. We want to make sure that as the community grows, we also understand the needs. You know, housing is very dire. We also want to create another problem by having scarcity of services that the community very, very much need. And the other thing is, I think it's important to understand the history. We cannot just say we're going to start from scratch. You know, of course, we're always open to that, but the community board did a lot of work to make sure that the community got, you know, a good deal when it came to that site. And as a lot of those questions, they still stand, such as the one that I asked, and I'm sure many of my colleagues here will come up with those same questions. And I hope that the, you know, work is not for us to do it again, but for you guys to come back with the responses that we already asked.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, and all of what you said is 100% valid. My philosophy is, you know, if you're not sure about something, say you don't know. So I do not know if we have a community health assessment. I will confirm, and if we have done that, we will be sure to send that to you within the week, if it exists.
John, Martin?
So,
Yes.
when you talk about supportive housing, the people who will require supportive housing are, among others, people who are navigating substance abuse challenges, yes?
Yes, in part, yes.
And will there also be people who are returning from incarceration?
Well, so H&H is going to be identifying who the patients are. I'm not sure if some of those patients would be previously incarcerated people. I think, you know, I don't want to speculate on that. How, you know, their process for identifying clients, I don't want to speak to that. But that possibility exists.
And that's something that might be useful or helpful for us to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you're saying you'd, in addition to the community health assessment, you'd like information as to whether formerly incarcerated people might be tenants?
Cool. And I got family of formerly incarcerated, so don't get me wrong. So how are the people who are with the 68% of the people who are joining us in the community, how are they being selected? And how are they being supported?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You cannot discriminate because someone was incarcerated.
Right.
So, you know, they have to be careful, and they have to operate within the guidelines of the Housing Act and the discrimination laws in New York City. So you can't, mental illness is considered a disability.
Yeah.
And you can't discriminate against people because they have a mental health issue or because they are in a wheelchair. So you have to be very careful about that too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay, two questions to follow up. I think you said 80 units would be available for local residents. Did I hear that correctly?
It will be available through Housing Connect.
Not local though, Monique, just general public.
So will any be allocated to those from Community Board 9?
Yes.
How?
So,
But he doesn't know how many yet.
because you
Okay,
know there was a lawsuit from the NAACP, you know, and so it's kind of tricky to give you a number right now because they don't want to like give too much preference to people in the community. So
you say you're still open to working with the community board, so that might be an opportunity to have a discussion to identify people from this community who are in need of support.
We can have those conversations, yes. And
has a date been established yet in terms of when this will happen? Because I know there's been over a year's discussion. Our first vice chair inquired about whether or not you read the long documents we submitted expressing our concern. So as second vice chair, I would like to know, has a date been established in terms of when you're breaking ground and moving forward? A firm date has not been established. So we still have an opportunity once again to weigh in and speak with you as this process is moving forward. And I welcome that opportunity, yes. All right, thank you, Chair.
Oh, Laquita, yes.
Thank you for your
Comments. Let me ask, is there still possibility to weigh in on, the design and, physical?
Unfortunately, I can say no, there is not still an opportunity to weigh in on the design of the building. That is pretty much confirmed.
And how is that open to the community to have a discussion about? Because every project that we hear about, the smallest percentage is always for families. But the majority of the need in this city is for housing for families, not for single adults. You can go to any school, and any social worker in any school will tell you that. So I don't understand how we're willing to open up to a conversation when we're not having a conversation. Or maybe I'm jumping the gun. I don't know.
Well, they are building supportive housing. That's the bulk of what they're building. But along with that, they're gonna have apartments, affordable, quote unquote, affordable housing units as well. But their main focus is supportive housing. Along with that, they are giving some affordable units.
You can also have family supportive housing, less often built.
Let me just add,
Yeah, we're gonna hit 9.
We have to, you please speak up.
Okay, I'm just saying that it's unfortunate that we will not have some impact on design and how that structure fits into this landmark in some areas. It has cultural aspects that we're very proud of as well. It's probably still not too late in terms of the ground or something like that. So if you take that back, we've asked for that a number of times, and that should have been taken into consideration, and we have not heard anything that mentioned in that long resolution that was passed by our board and presented to the RC, HHC, and those that are supporting. We're, community that's proud.
Yeah.
Of this environment and concerns and different
Akui, I don't want to cut you off, but we have to move on. We can kind of continue this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And my cards are here, so those of you want.
All righty, move on.
Thank you.
Update from Palante Harlem. Alcia Vasquez, one of our community partners. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, for inviting me to come speak with you guys. Just for the record, you guys are our favorite community board. I have lots to say about others. And I'm quite vocal. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Alcia Vasquez. I am the founder and executive director of Palante Harlem. Palante is an acronym. It stands for Move Forward. But it's really an acronym. It stands for People Against Landlord Abuse and Tenant Exploitation. And I remember, and Yutha would remember that when I first came to this board back in 2010, and I needed a letter of support, and you guys gave it to me. So thank you. Like I said, it's not just because of the letter of support, but really because of the fact that this thing is bothering me. I'm too short for this one. There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Right. But it's really because I know that you guys are here really doing the great work, selfless work, and supporting organizations like Palante. So I'm here to talk about legal services, which I'm really excited. And remember what I mentioned about the word Palante, right? Means move forward. It means move forward regarding, regarding the distractions that you get. And I'm happy to say that we finally were able, with the help of the community board, this community board, help with our community, we were able to secure both contracts to provide free legal services to Community Board 9. How many of you guys here are not familiar with Palante? Okay, for starters, Palante has never lost a case. So now we're gonna be able to do a lot more Usually when Palante organizes a building, guess what happens? The landlord gets fired. It happened at 545 West 146, at 509 West 134th Street. We fire landlords. They have to either sell or get in shape, and we don't give them a lot of time to get in shape because we have a model, and our model is totally grassroots. So the legal services that we're providing is really for two attorneys now. We are continuing the tradition with Community Board 9 in terms of getting, coming over here and doing the legal services in the legal clinic, except that with one big difference. We're gonna have real attorneys here and not paralegals, not law graduates, which is, I understand some of you guys were getting. I always tell people, you never wanna have someone learn how to shave in your face. And when it comes to housing, this is not a time when we get to experiment. So I want to introduce my team, including the first attorney that's already dedicated to CB9. Melissa, stand up. Yeah. Kick ass woman. We're gonna kick ass some landlords in court. You know, we're already organizing the tenants at 2 St. Nicholas Place who were affected by the fire. That's when actually there's about 17 people still in the hospital and one person unfortunately passed away. So Melissa's already preparing the lawsuit for that. With me also is Angelica and Brethren. Angelica is a law graduate. Get up, Angelica. And Brethren is a housing specialist. Those guys are the ones doing the organizing and doing the individual intakes. And they're complemented, of course, with the legal services that we provide. One of the key differences about Palante versus the larger legal services group is that we're not reactive, we're proactive. So we're the ones suing landlords. In order for a tenant to come to us, they don't have to be court involved. You're the ones that usually start the fight immediately after initial intake. So let me give you an example. At 110th Street, I believe it is in this community, right? In this community board, right? Yeah. We had a young lady, her name is Kayla. Kayla came to our office crying, looking to see where she could get a loan or grant for $1,500. Palante has micro grants for single women, especially moms and seniors, but Kayla did not qualify because Kayla did not have a lease. Turns out that Kayla is actually, her mother knows the property manager who's doing her a favor, and she was getting the family discount. This is how things start at Palante. So Kayla was going everywhere. She did not have a lease. The family friend did not give her a lease for her $1,500 apartment, which was really a single room. It was a one room, $1,500. So when Kayla came in looking for the grant, as part of our individual intake, we look at the paperwork. Turns out that Kayla's real rent was supposed to be $746, not $1,500. So Kayla came to us looking for $1,500 in October, and by December, Kayla had a check from the landlord for $27,000. That's what we did. And in addition to that, very proud of Kayla, because this is a young lady, moved over from the suburbs, wanted to live her life, have a little piece of the pie here in New York City. But empowering Kayla to a point that, because her mother knew the property manager, the mother was like, what are you doing? You cannot do this rent overcharge application. You can't do this lease renewal. Our organization was able to empower to the point that after they harassed her, she withdrew the applications that we helped to submit. We immediately empowered her, which we said, you know what, you have to continue this case. And when she continued the case, we were right on the phone with the tenant protection unit. So the reason why Kayla got her $27,000, which by the way, for those of you mathematicians, it's actually supposed to be 27,000 times 3 that she's owed. The 27,000 is just the primer, okay, because it's not treble damages. But most importantly is that not only is Kayla gonna get a lease, a rent stabilized lease, but now the tenant protection unit is knocking doors into this building. And now we're gonna benefit the Barnard students, the Columbia students, and everybody else that's being really, taken advantage of. Because if Kayla had the family discount of $1,500, can you imagine what a Columbia or Barnard student is paying? So that's the type of work that Palante does. I'm really excited about the opportunity of having these spots. There's 2 attorneys. And in fact, starting in May, we're gonna have the second attorney, and we're gonna bring him to the board, to the housing committee probably, along with Melissa, but he's gonna be joining us on May 1st. So after that, just keep on following us up, social media, all the newsletters. because we are getting really, really excited to kick some butt. We already put one landlord in jail. That's a long time ago. So I need to do it again, you know? And hopefully in time of our 15th anniversary that we're about to celebrate this September.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Any questions? Edwin?
Would you say that, the weekly talleres for everyone to join, where they learn about different issues with housing, where they have a local.
Yeah, we have Zoom Thursdays. Every Thursday on Zoom, you have subject matter experts on Zoom. Most of them are attorneys, ready to discuss, really empower you and educate you. That's really what it's about. These are not formal presentations, you know, where you get the PowerPoint, but it's really engaging. And and thank you for pointing that out, Edwin. Thank you. That's very important. And all of the Zoom Thursdays are simultaneous translated into Spanish. I think they have to call you.
Yes,
Hi,
George?
thank you so much. I wanted to find out, do you work with HDFC? Because there's some HDFCs in our community that are being run correctly. And people are being taken advantage of.
Yeah, all we do is housing. So every area of housing we own. We, NYCHA, HDFCs, it's an interim lease program, which I'm very passionate about. Those are the ones before it turned into the HDFCs. We do that. And my goal is that we're gonna bring in another attorney that would only focus on HDFCs. Because see, people think that an attorney would do, but attorney is like a doctor. You do not go to the OBGYN with a toothache. You gotta go to the dentist. So, you know, our attorneys here, they're focused around tenant organizing, right? Suing landlords for repairs, conditions. And I'm the HDC expert at Palante now, but I'm looking to bring in an attorney. So we're dedicated the current attorneys onto the, you know, into the HDFCs. And you know, one of the big problems with HDFCs is that it was not meant for it to succeed. That's why you don't have an agency that really oversees HDFCs. And everything you gotta do it in court. And the problem is that a lot of our folks do not have the money to pay an attorney $450 an hour to watch paint dry in Supreme Court. So, but we're focusing on that, absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much.
So thank you for having us, thank you.
Next up, we have a discussion, Summer on the Hudson series, given by Stephanie.
My hand is raised.
Bond.
Reverend Thomas.
Oh,
What?
Reverend Morgan Thomas.
Question? Let's see. Reverend, yes? Reverend, you had a question?
You're on. Well, not really a question. I just wanted to let Elsia know that sometimes you don't get feedback, but over half a dozen tenants have come into Palante that I've been able to refer that did not even live in CB9. They actually live in CB10, and they are just singing your praises. And I just want to thank you for all of these years and the dedication and hard work that Palante has put forth. And it is just absolutely fabulous, the manner in which Palante has grown. And I just want to certainly say thank you, Elsia. You guys are doing phenomenal work. You have helped so many people. Nobody that I've ever referred to you has not received a positive outcome. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you very much. I have to thank you because you were one of those first people that actually helped me. And I remember that. So thank you. Thank you for acknowledging our work. You have no idea how much that means to me from getting people like you, because of people like you, I'm able to stand on those shoulders of you, and you opened up the path for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Summer on the Hudson series, Miss Caban.
Hi, everyone. Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Caban. I am the North Park Outreach Coordinator at Riverside Park Conservancy. Riverside Park runs from 59th Street all the way up to 181st Street. So we help steward Riverside Park South Riverside Park, West Harlem Pierce Park, Socorro Park, and a portion of Fort Washington Park. So I'm here today with our Director of Public Programming to talk about our Summer on the Hudson series, Whitney Dearden, who will talk about all the free public programming that we have in the park. We have over 300 free public programming happening in the summer, as well as Merritt Birnbaum, who is our CEO and President of Riverside Park Conservancy. She's going to be talking to you about the goats this year. Every year we have some goats who come in as summer interns who help us remove some introduced species and some poison ivy. So I'll have Whitney start us off first, and then Merritt can jump in and talk about the goats. I'm not too sure, Whitney, if you have screen sharing access, but
I do not.
If someone
I just have a fast 4-slide PowerPoint that has some highlights and my contact information.
And Merritt Birnbaum also has a PowerPoint as well. But we will all make it really quick. So if that's possible.
I have the ability to share, so maybe I'll just go first. Does that work? And while I'm doing that, Whitney, if you want to send me yours, I can.
Merritt should also have the ability to share now.
Yes. Oh.
I do have the ability to share.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Just give me 1 second. Sorry, the screen share covers my PowerPoint menu. There we go. So hello. My name is Whitney Dearden. I am the Director of Public Programming at the Riverside Park Conservancy. Thank you so much for having me. I always feel like it's a sure sign of summer when I get to stop by Community Board 9 to talk a little bit about the things we have happening this season. For those of you who are not familiar, Summer on the Hudson is the arts and culture festival that takes place along the west side of Manhattan from 59th to 181st Streets from May to October. Over 250, actually this year over 300 events all summer long, the full length of Riverside Park and the southern portion of Fort Washington Park and West Harlem Piers. Health and wellness, children's programs, full day festivals, educational workshops, music, dance parties, and more. Our events begin May 1st. I'm very excited this year to announce that we have made a greater push to program the northern part of the park, so West Harlem Piers and the northern part of Riverside and the southern part of Fort Washington. We are bringing a movie series to the waterfront at 145th Street. Traditionally, we have done a July and August movie series in Riverside South at 70th Street. Really pleased to say that we will be doing a similar series on Thursdays in August at 145th Street. So no need to travel as far. We will have some movies on the waterfront. If you enjoy going to that lawn, I think it's a really stunning sunset. So I'm very excited to bring those up to the northern part of the park. In addition, some educational programs as well. For the first time, we'll be doing some birding walks in Fort Washington Park. Also, for the first time, we will be having some Spanish language horticulture tours. Those will be taking place around 116th Street in the Forever Wild section of the park. And then, of course, some new music partnerships. Student musicians from the Kaufman Music Center will be in West Harlem Piers doing outdoor concerts. And we have done concerts with the Jazz Foundation of America before, but I'm pleased to announce we are doing more of them. We really like working with them. We really like the artists that they bring out. And we really like the community that we're building around those concerts. So happy to add more of them to the calendar. And of course, returning favorites, fishing clinics, Friday night concerts in West Harlem Piers, our much loved dance fitness class with Shape Up NYC, and also returning is our sunset yoga practice on 145th Street. You can find us on social media. In addition to the Conservancy social media, we run our own for weather cancellations, event updates, mostly on Facebook and Instagram as well. You'll find things like weather cancellations, updates to our schedule. We are sporadically on Twitter, but go ahead and give us a follow. We love to hear from people about all the free things going on in the park. And then I'll leave this up, nyc.gov/parks/SOH. That is our calendar on the Parks Department website. That's also where you can find a PDF of the brochure, which will be making its way around the neighborhood in the coming week. My team and I usually get in the car and we drive it all over the place. So I believe, Stephanie, you brought some to the CB9 office? But
yes, I did. Yeah.
And we will also be dropping it off at the local offices of city council members. So there'll be some at Sean Abreu's office. There will be some at Mark Levine's office on 125th Street as well. And if you want to get in touch with me, that is my email and phone. I'll leave this up for just a moment if anyone wants to take a picture. And that's it. We really look forward to seeing everyone in the park this summer.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much, Whitney. I just want to say how much we've enjoyed working with the community, particularly the local artists, always looking to engage more local groups. So Whitney's always on the hunt for new talent and ideas, and please reach out to her. As Stephanie mentioned, I am here to talk about our GO program. This is our most famous, I think, program. It certainly has gotten us the most press, and I'm just trying to get into that show. And as you can see, been a beloved event for the last 5 years. So a little bit of background, our event we call the season Gotham. Fun fact, the word Gotham actually did come from the word goat, and we like to play on the history of New York City as a goat town. So for the past 5 years, we've hired these goat interns to implement sustainable pesticide-free landscape management by eating the weeds in the park in a fenced-in area that has been traditionally at 120th Street in the forested area next to the tennis courts. They've been there every summer for the last 5 years, helping to clear the slopes and just generally engaging and delighting the community members. We are very pleased to announce that the GOAT project was a success. We are now moving on to the next phase of reforestation, where we're establishing a new understory with some delicate plants that we don't want the goats to eat. So in the upcoming year, we need to find a new location in need of weed removal that can welcome our herd of goats for the summer to tackle this new section. Our new proposed location for the goats is this very, very steep slope that is right near Riverbank State Park, between the railroad tracks and Riverside Drive, between 143rd and 145th. I have a few pictures of what that area currently looks like. It's covered with invasive plant material, weeds, poison ivy, things that are generally not desirable in a park environment and certainly not attractive next to our buildings, our playground, our dog run in the area. And this is an area that has been cleared before, but because it's so steep, it has been really challenging to maintain and has continued to invite unwelcome activity and just generally contribute to a not great condition for that neighborhood. So we're looking to bring our goat friends in there and have them go to work. This is just another view so that you can sort of see from the West Side Highway and Riverbank, the area that we're talking about. It's not an area that is currently, accessible with pathways, nor would it be, but it is an area that, is one that we're responsible for caring for, and that's been very challenging to address. So we're really excited to see what the goats can do in this area, open it up, really start creating a much healthier forest and a much better looking environment when you look towards the drive. Just a little bit about the Gotham event in general. So we have celebrated the goats' arrival with a festival for the last few years. Last year, it was at 96th Street. They did a ribbon chewing for our new compost facility there. This year, we're looking to do a goat-themed festival and welcome event in the area near where Whitney was talking about, we're bringing the movies. It's near the parking lot right at 151st Street when you come off the Danny Farrell Bridge. So there's a nice lawn there. We're looking to bring our vendors, live music, merchandise, photo ops, arts and crafts, educational activities, all kinds of things, so that people can meet the goats and have a nice festival atmosphere. So here's some pictures from 2023. We love doing this event with our local council members. Councilmember Abreu has always been very supportive. We're looking forward to celebrating together and welcoming the goats to their new location. Little bit, they have been very widely covered by press and news outlets, both local and even in some cases nationally. And one of the other fun aspects that we do every year with the goats is a voting contest where we have the public vote for the goat of the year. So we'll be announcing soon. We wanted to come to the community board first before making any public announcements about the new location for the goats. Every year it's something that people are always asking about and get really excited about. Are the goats coming back? Are the goats coming back? So really looking forward to rolling this out. And I will also end by turning it back over to Stephanie to talk a little bit about the goats and the volunteer opportunities that we have for people who are interested in helping out, either with getting the site ready for them. There'll be fencing installed in the area. We're clearing out the trash and other things that are there to make sure that everything is ready for them. And then when they're here, we actually have volunteers who assist with herding. The goats go into a little enclosure tent that you see here at night and kind of get tucked in for the night. And it's something that's been really fun and engaging for a lot of community members to come out and get to actually have some FaceTime with the goats for their nighttime ritual. Stephanie, do you want to just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Merritt, and thanks, Whitney, as well. Again, my name is Stephanie. I usually come to the subcommittee parks meetings, so you'll see me talking all the time there. But the second Tuesday of every month, we will be having a cleanup opportunity in this area targeted towards community members to come in and really help us clean out this area before the goats do get here. There is a lot of trash in this area, so it's the second Tuesday of every month from 1 to 3 p.m. I can put that in the chat or I can email that as well. We are looking for goat herders who are volunteers. And so at 6 a.m. every morning, we need some volunteers to let the goats out. And at 6 p.m. Every night, we need somebody to let the goats back into their tent. So they have a little tent within their enclosure that we just need to secure them in for the night and let them out in the morning, make sure that they have water, make sure that they have their hay, and all that good stuff. We are also hiring for part-time goat stewards as staff. So that's also an opportunity. So you can either volunteer or apply for that position, which is online. And again, happy to send that over to anybody at CB9 if that needs to be posted anywhere. I do have flyers in the park. So if you are walking along the park along 143rd Street, there are flyers that talk about the volunteer opportunity to help pick up trash in the area. If you see those, look at that QR code and sign up on Eventbrite. But yeah, does anyone have any quick questions, concerns for Whitney, for Merritt, or myself at all?
Yes, we have one question here. Liz?
In terms of prepping the area, I know that there are both individuals experiencing homelessness and cats experiencing homelessness. How have you experienced both of those in the past, and how will you address them?
That's a great question. We actually have Jenny's Garden on 138th Street that feeds a lot of cats because the cats help them get rid of rats, which is really funny. So there are a lot of cats in the area because Jenny's Garden is a vegetable garden and it's just a few blocks away. So cats, they're great. I'm sure that the cats and the goats will, become friends and they'll be, have a fun time. In terms of people, I do come from a social services background. So I have been giving out street sheets to a lot of individuals in the area, letting them know about the goats as well. as well as I'm hoping to partner up with the Center for CUCS, Center for Urban Community Services, I believe is their acronym, because we have partnered with them before to reach out to specific individuals in the park to see what resources they need. In no way am I looking to kick people out of their homes, especially when parks are really safe for everyone. Especially people who are utilizing that slope to sleep on. So thank you so much for bringing that up. But I have made a lot of friends there and have been talking to them and have been handing out street sheets, and hopefully we'll be partnering up with CUCS to further connect people to resources that they might need. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time and the presentation. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you on the GOAT path sometime soon.
Thank you. Yes, we're really excited. Stay tuned for more information.
Next up, reports, starting with my chair's report. In the sake of time, it's in your packet. I can't hear you.
Sanitation, did anything go or not?
No,
They're
not
going
yet. Everything's on my chair's report. As I said, town hall meeting with the mayor last Monday went very well. We got some good questions in. Some follow-up has started already, so I was pleased to see that. To St. Nicholas Place, Palante Holland's working with them, and that's going well. And I had the pleasure of meeting the provost from this very university 2 weeks ago. He came to our executive board meeting. They're looking to do a couple of different programs with Community Board 9, so we're looking forward to that. And that's basically my chair's report. Treasurer's report, given by who?
Carolyn, you can unmute yourself. Carolyn Thompson. Click the unmute button.
Yes, I got it. I spoke with Deidre, and she said no, there are no changes in the treasurer's report. It is as it stands.
Okay, thank you so much. District Manager's report.
Podium, because this is taking me back. It's been some years since COVID that I've been at the podium. So good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In addition to my report, I have a few additions. But before I get started with that, is Anthony still in the room?
No, I think he stepped out.
Anthony Akili with City College. I wanted to thank him, so I'll do it publicly, for the setup for the meeting space. It was short notice. He was on point, set it up. So I just wanted to thank him officially. In addition to my report, I have a few highlights to share with you. Car-free Earth Day will open streets across the 5 boroughs to the public to walk, bike, and enjoy free activities throughout the day this Saturday, April 20th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The following streets in Manhattan will be closed. That's Broadway, East 17th Street to West 46th Street, Dyckman Street, Broadway to Dyckman Marina, St. Nicholas Avenue, 181st Street to 190th Street. Flyers are also available at the information table, and it includes streets throughout the city of New York if you'd like to partake in Earth Day on Saturday. And this is the flyer. Also, the MTA is hosting an open house for bus operators next Saturday, April 27th at 130 Livingston Street, downtown Brooklyn, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Qualified candidates can begin their employment process at the open house. Qualifications include a motor vehicle driver's license, valid in the state of New York for at least 3 years, and you must have a Class A or Class B CDL permit valid in the state of New York with a passenger endorsement and no air brake or other disqualifying restrictions. Also, the Home Energy Assistance Program, HEAP, can help eligible New Yorkers heat and cool their homes. With the summer months approaching, if you're eligible, you may receive 1 cooling system benefit per applicant household for the purchase and installation of an air conditioner or a fan to help cool your home. Applications are now open. To learn more or check to see if you're eligible, please call Department of Social Services at 718-557-1399. Last but not least, DOT has started its resurfacing program throughout the borough. Please contact myself and my staff at the district office. Our office number is 212-864-6200 to report any streets or roadways within the district of CB9 that need to be resurfaced. And I'd like to also introduce my staff, Madison Ayala here at the table, and Teal Ellison at the front table, the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf. Next, we'll have Pat Butler Johnson with the West Harlem Development Report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Before I start, I know she left, but I just want to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Ann Rocker. It's always good to see her, and I see that she left, and out of respect, I have to acknowledge her. So I'm glad to know that she was here. The WHDC board meeting, the next one will take place on Wednesday, April 24th. One of the news stories that came out since our last meeting was the report of an important collaboration between WHDC, CB9, and Columbia University to create the in-kind services process. So before I say anything, I want to congratulate CB9 as well as Columbia and WHDC for being able to collaborate and make that come to pass. As an important initiative, and I'm glad to know that we all supported it. It is the in-kind space is just allowing space for Columbia University to, they are providing space to the community for events and that kind of thing. So it is as per the Columbia University Office of Public Affairs, they have a whole procedure in which you would like to, if you would like to, if you would like to occupy space in any of the Columbia facilities, you can contact WHDC, go to the website, or you can contact Columbia University directly. The information is in the report. The Arise program for summer 2024 has already been announced. The program is applications are available. Let me see, if you want to know more information about that, visit the WHDC website, as well as also pick up an application at the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem, 521 West 145th Street. Their phone number is 212-283-6770. The community benefit grants is on, the funding cycle is on schedule to be announced in May. And there was also a presentation by Vince Morgan, who was at the Housing and Land Use Committee meeting on April 9th and presented information to the committee there. And there's other community events that are happening that are sponsored by WHDC. If you have any questions, you can always visit the website at westharlem.dc.org. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, my second time to the street really located. I was told the last time that I voted on parking permits on the
I apologize, I really can't hear you.
Okay. Sure. My second time here, and I'm learning a lot. I appreciate the energy. I was told by the young lady that spoke on the phone that you guys voted on parking permits for the neighborhood.
Parking permits?
Parking permits for the neighborhood.
Yeah, that wouldn't be Pat's report, but that's a resolution that we passed calling on the city council to create such a system.
Right, for the possession, true.
Right.
So what is the next step that I have to take? I'm sorry, I don't know.
No.
What would be the next step that I need to take?
Call your council member and attend the Transportation and Uniform Services Committee meetings on the first Wednesday. Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Next up, report from Reverend Morgan Thomas.
Good evening. UMass will meet in another week and a half, and I will have a report for our next board meeting. UMass does not meet on a monthly basis. So there has been no real new interactions or grants or any information that would be ready for the board at this time. I think at our last board meeting, we talked about microloans. Of course, that program is still open, and residents, businesses in Community Board 9 can apply at any time for those microloan programs. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. Next up, we have a report from the Manhattan Borough President's Office, a new representative. Introduce yourself, Sean. Thank you for attending.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, my microphone's down. All right, here we go. Again, my name is Sean Brandon. I'm your new community liaison for CB9 and 10, former board member of CB10. 2 weeks on the job, started April 7th, resigned from Community Board 10, April 7th. So that's how new I am to the job. Before I start, what I want to do is give my information out. As I get up to speed, I'm trying to attend as many meetings and trying to learn about issues that are affecting CB9. So my contact information, I'm gonna give you my email first. S Brannon, so it's SBRANNON at Manhattan BP, Manhattan spelled out, BP, .nyc.gov. My office number is 212-669-4519. That's 212-669-4519. Now, for the sake of time, there are a couple of issues or a couple of just notes I want to bring to CB9. First and foremost, for those of you who may not be aware, Tricia Shimomura has now moved on to become our new Manhattan Borough Commissioner of the Parks Department. Eric Coelho, who has been our Deputy Director, is now serving as our unit's Acting Director. So for whatever issues I can't resolve, I'll go to Eric to get the context. Next up, as far as Community Board application status, I want to thank everybody who's applied or reapplied to Community Board 9. The interview sessions are completed. We're reviewing applications and working towards final decisions. We hope to have that done by at least the first week in May. Next up, bathroom map. Our office has been working hard to address the needs of public restrooms. Lord knows when you're out in public and you gotta go, you gotta go. But we recently wrote a letter to the MTA. We're still waiting on them to get back to us. As soon as we hear back from them, we'll let you guys know what was said. Last but not least, volunteer corps. We've been working with hundreds of volunteers. So if anybody is interested in joining the volunteer corps, please go to the manhattanbp.nyc.gov website. And again, you guys have my information. I am new, but I am not new. So feel free to reach out to me. And as I get up to speed, I'll definitely have more issues to bring to the board. If there are any questions that I can answer, feel free to ask.
Thank you for coming. It's good to have a former board member be our new liaison. It's less of a question and more feedback. We are currently at 38 members out of 50 seats. In my 13 years on the board, I think this is the lowest we've ever been. We really need those new appointees before the next general board meeting, ideally, but also if we can make sure that we prioritize members who are committed to attending. We have had a lot of attendance. You know, we had really dedicated people taken off of our board who still show up to meetings, some of whom are in the room. And we had people put on who never showed up to a meeting. And so if you can carry that back to Eric and the team, that would be great.
And as someone who sat on the board, I will carry that back because that issue is pervasive, not only in CB9.
But I think the changes are done on purpose, especially if the person is very vocal. They have been moved on, so.
Again, I can't speak to that.
But send a message
But
to them.
I'll take that back to you. That'll be point of information.
Yeah, we invited them to, I invited the president to come and talk to me about it. We haven't seen him yet.
Walter.
Yes, welcome again. As you mentioned about public restrooms, you know, MTA has been opening up bathrooms, like 150, 7 to 7, and they are clean. I have to use them. But 125 Street, this I know this is your new, I'm gonna put your child. 125 is a severe lack of public restrooms. There's no way to go to the bathroom. The Starbucks as well, you gotta get McDonald's, you have to buy something. I think Kentucky Pride will let you, maybe let you in, but other the state office building used to let you in, they don't let you in now. There's very so that has a maybe either porta potties or something where you know people go to the bathroom. If you want to put someone in the department store, they give you a house as well. So let them know that, especially on 21st Street, or from river to river, there's a lack of public restrooms.
Again, another issue I will take back to the office.
Yeah, because he ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
Monica.
With respect to what Walter said, I don't understand why the state building is closed. That's a public building.
Thank you.
And why people can't use that. And I really think that you need to address that with whoever runs that building. That's a public building.
Yes.
It's not a department store. It's not anything else. There's no reason why people can't use that building to go to the bathroom. Please take that back.
It's kind of out of our purview, but I will take it back.
I think I know.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. All righty. Next up is public session, which will be run by the first vice chair of the board. Just a reminder, public session, 3 minutes to speak. We have a very limited time in this building with guests, so we want to abuse that. So
yes,
make it.
So you will hear a little chiming noise at 3 minutes. That is your cue to finish. That is not your cue to take another minute. First on our list is John McGregor for Bookstore for Harlem. Come up to the podium.
Hey, great. Thank you for having me. I've been to several of the committee meetings, so forgive me for folks who've heard my pitch before. But my plan is to bring a first-in-class general interest bookstore to Harlem. Something that it doesn't have, and it should. It used to. There was African National Memorial Bookstore, there's Tree of Life here several years ago, Liberation, and Human most recently, but there's nothing, it hasn't been anything for several years, over a dozen years. So I like to correct that. And I'm at the very beginning, very early planning stages. The reason why I'm starting now is I wanted to get that community feedback, get buy-in from folks in the community, hear their questions, hear their ideas, hear their thoughts as the process was starting. So I want to start that conversation early. So I'm looking to get questions, feedback, thoughts, et cetera, from everyone that has them. It would be a general interest bookstore. I want it to be a store, no matter where it's based, that all of Harlem could come to and find something. If you're a mother looking to get her daughter ready for college, you can get books on college tests, preps, writing essays, things along those lines. Or if you're a father that wants to read to your children at night, you can get children's books, or just get the latest bestseller or a great piece of Harlem history. It just didn't make any sense to me that a great community like Harlem, which I was a resident some years ago in Mount Morris, no longer, the home of Langston Hughes and Harlem Renaissance and James Baldwin and Zora Neale Hurston, doesn't have a great store, particularly when so many neighborhoods in Manhattan have at least one. So it would be a place where folks could come and exchange ideas, programming, events, panel discussions, hear an author read. I've worked for over 30 years in book publishing, mostly as a literary agent, helping writers get published. I spent some time on the publishing side. I worked at a great independent bookstore, Nellie Jackson. My friend Chris Jackson, one of the founders, he's worked with great writers like Ta-Nehisi Coates, Nicole Hannah-Jones, who did the 1619 Project, Brian Stevenson, the Equal Justice Initiative, that museum down in Alabama. So I want to bring great writers like that to speak, to do events and do panel discussions and everything to this community, so folks can enjoy reading here. Reading makes everything possible. It's the beginning of everything. It's the doorway to so much, and there's no reason why shouldn't have a store. So basically, keep it short and brief. That's what I want to do. I can talk longer to anyone if they have any questions.
Not from that podium. Daria, I'm gonna let you take that offline to the sidelines if that's okay, because we have a lot of people and a hard stop on the room. Michael Iglesias. But thank you, Mr. McGrath. I think Daria wants to talk to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on deck after Michael will be 773 St. Nicholas Avenue. That's not.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to say thank you guys for.
Please speak into the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for everything you guys have done. Some updates as far as the legislation goes. Both Al Taylor and Daniel O'Donnell, our representatives, support the state assembly bill. So thank you so much. With 2 more votes, we're getting closer towards making more affordable housing and, eventually to, with the ultimate goal of making it more affordable. But the reason that I came up here today is not because of that. I want to talk about today's events that happened at Columbia University.
Yes.
Over 100 people got arrested, and it's sad to say that how things are and what things have become. I understand that the president of Columbia, President Shafiq, was under a lot of pressure by Congress as far as how the school has handled some anti-Semitic comments that have happened on campus. But I don't think that the response was proportional to what was requested from Congress and what was requested from the students. So I'm going to reiterate, and I'm going to make a point that I condemn the action that happened today. I don't think the use of force was appropriate in the circumstance. These were college students that had camped out. Yes, you can make an argument that it was trespassing, fine. But I think it was political pressure. These students were a cop-out for what's happened. The police are also, unfortunately, somebody who's going to be blamed as a result of this. And I know that the police are just doing their jobs because, somebody's calling for trespassing, but they're also going to be, unfortunately, lumped into this. So nothing really good has come of this. I do want to say one thing, instead of condemn, but to say that I support Alvin Bragg's decision today, the Manhattan DA, not to press charges. He has a tradition of not pressing charges against large masses of people that are conscientious objectors. Now, one last note, and I'm not 100% certain, as more facts are coming out, whether or not the police had participated in kettling. And if you don't know what kettling is, that's when if you're protesting and all four streets, let's say it's a four-way street, and every exit is blocked off, that's kettling. And when I was working at the state AG's office doing civil rights work over the summer, we helped to end that. So there have been accusations, sorry, just one last point to make. There have been accusations that there was no escape and that although it was on private property, they did move on to public property as they were also being arrested. So I think that people have a freedom of speech. I don't think it should have come to this, and we should condemn the action. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. 773 St. Nicholas Avenue, and Carl Mahaney will be on deck.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I haven't been to a lot of board meetings in my time. I've been to about one or two, but if anybody doesn't know me or the new community or old community, I represent 773 St. Nicholas Avenue, which is the home location of an old jazz club called St. Nick's Pub.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Kind of haven't had any kind of audience in quite a while. But anyway, I'm Vincent Lampkin. I ran the pub. My mother ran it before me. Has a lot of history. The family been here since 1962. We want to announce today that I have a plan. We had a fire. If people don't know it, there was a fire. I was ordered to demolish the building. So there's a lot there now. It's a vacant lot, empty lot. And our plan is we'd like to give back to the community and make the neighborhood a little more attractive. We want to do a park and garden in the lot. That's the first plan, the immediate plan. Also, we would like to do a mural on the outside of the construction fence. It's a wooden fence in front. So we have plans for a mural. And the mural will be local artists who are kind of like award-winning artists. And it'll be dedicated to history of Harlem, history of jazz culture, and maybe a small part towards my mother. There was a fire there. There was a fireman who lost his life there. There's a small memorial to the fireman. I'm hoping to keep in touch with the community board for here or after. And you know, I'm available if anybody like my contact, I can give it to you. I'm not sure if it's appropriate at the podium right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Vincent Lampkin. My number is 347-290-5325. And a lot of people used to know me. I kind of grew up here, maybe born here too, but I'm still around. And that's the plan. After that plan, there may be a lot of other plans. You know, we haven't really gotten into new construction phase of new building and new development. But in the meantime, we want a park. Thank you, everyone.
I don't think he has yet. So next up is Carl Mahaney, followed by Neighbors for a Greener Harlem. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Came out tonight to be with you all to talk about trash, which has been kind of a hot topic these days. Specifically, I want to go out on a limb and say something that I would hope would be fairly uncontroversial. Getting bags of trash off our sidewalks and into containers in the street is a good thing. It's frankly a little embarrassing that New York City is just coming around to this fantastic 20th century innovation, but better late than never, no disrespect to our DSNY friends who are still here. You're doing great stuff. I live across from a school, PS 36, that used to have literal piles of garbage spread across the sidewalk every day. including uneaten bits of school lunches that the rats had to compete for with the raccoons from Morningside Park. Brad Taylor's here, he knows all about those raccoons. It was disgusting. And I said, was. The minute those containers went in, the literal next day, that problem was gone. Rarely does a change to the public realm result in this kind of immediate, unqualified good to the community. We all stand to benefit from trash containerization, and converting a handful of parking spaces per block for this higher use is simply the right thing to do. There's a tendency in these types of meetings for people to show up to complain when they're angry, even when something they're complaining about is a necessary and beneficial change to the community. So that's why I'm here tonight. I just wanted to come out. I'd rather be at home reading a story to my son before bed, but I'm here with you just to, again, state the obvious. Putting garbage in containers is good, and I hope CB9 will give your full-throated endorsement to this going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Neighbors for a Greener Harlem, followed by Gretchen C. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mara Tucker, and I'm the co-chair of Neighbors for a Greener Harlem, which was formerly the Sanitation Coalition, that was a collaborative organization formed in the early 90s between Morningside Gardens and the Grant Houses. We have worked very closely with Councilmember Abreu's office to support the containerization project because many of us who live in Morningside Gardens, where Carl mentioned, and the Grant Houses had issues with trash. Trash everywhere, trash on the sidewalks, trash in the street, and trash on blocks that currently house 4 different schools. So every morning, children were walking to school through trash on the sidewalk. And then with the abatement attempts to curb the rat population that were using poison, there were also dead rats in the trash. As Carl mentioned, since those containers went in, this is not an issue. Our kids are walking on clean sidewalks. Families with strollers, people with mobility issues now do not have to literally wade through garbage to get to and from school, to get to around their communities, and to be able to live in a community that is not covered in trash and attracting rodents and attracting pests and making our community dirty, literally dirty. While it's not perfect, I understand people have issues with how they look and other things that I'm sure can be addressed moving forward. Many of my neighbors, fellow parents in our community, all agree that this is far better than what we were living with. And I really hope that this community can get behind putting trash in containers and not on our sidewalks and streets. The message it sends to children walking to school is not the message we want to be sending to them, that their community is not worth being clean. Because our kids see that, and that's what they're thinking. Why are other neighborhoods clean? Why do they have trash cans? Why do they not have trash on the street? And my neighborhood does. So I really hope that we can get behind this pretty basic and fundamental social service of keeping our neighborhood clean. My kids and I, at one point, were literally walking to school with garbage pickers and trash bags because we couldn't walk the 3 blocks to the school and not see trash and feel like we just walked by it. And that's not, again, the message we want to be sending to the children of our community who are trying to just go to school and live their lives among the trash. So please, please, continue the containerization pilot.
Thank you. Thank you. Gretchen Conway? What is it? How do you spell it?
Connelly, C-O-N-N-E-L-I-E. Not at all how it's sound.
Okay. And then on deck will be Achumboro Atano. I apologize for butchering that in advance. Go ahead.
Great.
Thank you. I won't be long. There's plenty of evidence and data to support the implementation of containerized trash. You just heard some really great examples. But I want to make this hyper local. My building has 36 units, and with a community board average of 2.5 people per unit, that equals 90 residents approximately living in my building. The curb length is approximately 60 feet. Containerized trash would benefit a minimum of 90 people. That's just the people living in the building, not the hundreds of people who walk up and down our block, going to the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, going to work at Morningside, Mount Sinai Morningside. It would benefit a minimum of 90 people, while using that same space for parking benefits a maximum of 4. I'm not anti-car. I love to drive. I'm just sick of the trash. And for those of us, you know, New Yorkers, we tend to be a little bit reluctant to change. I think it's good to remember that all overnight street parking used to be illegal in Manhattan. We can do this. We can make it better. It's going to be better if we expand this program. So please support that. And I also just want to shout out to Palante. They've been helping me. My landlord's raising my rent by 50%, and Palante is amazing.
Thank you. And that is the last person I have signed up. So go ahead. Who? Well, that's something did he sign up? He was trying, he was on the Zoom chat. Just go ask him. They're right here. Yeah, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Excuse me, thank you so much, Community Board 9. Thank you very much, Dr. Mungunya, for this opportunity. My name is Achimba Atande. A little bit about myself. I am an attorney. I run 2 businesses. I'm also an angel investor and adjunct professor, but none of that did I learn before law school. And that's why I started my company, Uplift Communities. Our goal is to help our community learn these things that we need to live a thriving life, not just survive, actually thrive in the city. Right now, I'm looking for help. We've been working 4 or 5 years. We've helped thousands of students and parents around the city and in West Harlem as well. However, for our next level, we want to get to tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. And for that, I would love your expertise, right? I'm still relatively young, but every day, thank you for your selfless help. Every day you're here hearing these stories, you know what people want, you know what people need in these communities. And we want to build the best program there is in this world. So I would love for your expertise and your feedback in terms of what you think your community will want in terms of these programs and also operationalizing it. We've done things in webinar format. We've done things in person. What you really think the community needs to actually change and transform in this generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And I was mistaken. We have 2 more folks signed up. One of whom I lost the form. I apologize. What's your name, sir? Glenn McMillan. Glenn McMillan is next, and then we have WeAct, who signed up ahead of time to present Ms. Bialik, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay, and then we are done with public session. You can go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Glenn McMillan. I'm here from Columbia University. I'm here to talk about something that we don't really talk about in our community spaces too often, and that is mental health. When we talk about or think about mental health, we think about the most extreme cases of mental health in our communities, the person we see walking around talking to themselves, or that homeless person who has nowhere to go at night. But what we don't understand is that mental health is the most debilitating disease in the world, and in particular in New York City. And mental health does not look like that other person. It looks like all of us. It takes on the face of income disparity. It takes on the face of when you work all week and your paycheck doesn't take you home, your take-home pay doesn't take you home, you can become depressed and have anxiety about all the social determinants of health that we know are happening in an adverse way in our community. So it looks like all of us. So what we're doing at Columbia is that we have a research study where we are testing our people for anxiety and depression And if you have any level of anxiety or depression, we will connect you to free services that is worth thousands of dollars, and you will become a part of our study, and we will document moving the needle in our community as far as mental health. Why is this important? Because when you talk about the allocation of resources, they want to know that we are interested in our own mental health. If we don't show the capacity to say we're interested in our own mental health, guess who's not going to get the resources? So we will be paying our tax dollars for resources in other neighborhoods, in other communities where they've shown the desire that they are interested in their mental health. So I'm going to leave some flyers. I'm also going to leave my card. I'm going to be very short. I know the time is we've been here a long time, and you can reach out to me and I will give you more information on how you can participate. If you are having a health fair event or a block party during the summer, we would love to be a part of it. We would love to support you. We would love to support your organization and your community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Ms. Bialik from We Act will be the last one.
That was the last one.
Oh, do it offline?
Somebody, no. Offline.
Yeah. Questions. Okay. Bialik, We Act, and then we will.
Yes,
we'll
thank you. So Joyce Bialik from the Manhattan Solid Waste Advisory Board and a member of We Act. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I'm going to join those who were in favor of containerization of trash, but I'm going to go a little bit further and remind everyone about changes in trash rules starting from, the end of the 20th century, where the requirement was going from metal containers to plastic containers for trash. Oh my God, plastic. Think of all the rats that they promote. So thank goodness we're now going back to metal containers. And thank goodness that CB9 has this wonderful pilot. And thank goodness that the pilot includes separating recyclables and food waste from trash in public schools. And I can't say how important separating recyclables and especially food from trash is to reducing global warming, because the food waste that goes into landfills ends up producing methane, which is 80 times more powerful source of global warming than is carbon dioxide. I don't know if you know that, but what I've been doing is going around to different community boards to present information about how to divert your food scraps from trash and produce compost. We want more compost because that is so helpful for the environment. So I've been doing this at community boards, and I'll reach out to your Parks and Environmental Committee to see if you would like a presentation. And this is one that was jointly produced by We Act and the Manhattan Swab. Thanks for listening. Take care.
Yeah, Alex. And that will conclude our public session. Next up, we hear from our elected officials. I will ask you to keep it very brief. If you can, I'm going to run a 2-minute timer. You are not bound by that, but please try to keep it very brief. We have to be out of here at 9, and we have 15 action items to vote on. So, Sean Abreu's office, Sean is here.
I'm here.
Oh, hi, there you are. Sorry, I thought you were here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good to see you all. I will try to be brief. I do have a couple of things to bring up. So I want to start off by thanking everyone who participated in participatory budgeting vote week, which we concluded this past Sunday. We were thrilled to see great engagement and thousands of votes submitted in our district. The council is currently tallying the votes, and our office is excited to follow through with the projects that garnered the most support. So stay tuned for that. Tonight, I want to share some great bills that Councilmember Abreu introduced last week. Intro 736 would pilot a rat birth control program in rat mitigation zones where we are currently containerizing trash. It's the first piece of legislation of its kind. We need to throw everything we can at this rat crisis because killing them with poison isn't effective when they breed so exponentially. This bill has been endorsed by the Lights Out Coalition, New York class, and VFAR on this bill. Intro 737 and Intro 738 both relate to food delivery apps like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Intro 737 would require that the tipping option be displayed at checkout, not after you have already received your order and are chowing down. Intro 738 would require that the suggested minimum tip to be set at 10%. Tips are still essential for delivery workers as they are only paid for active time worked. That means the time from when they receive the order to when it's delivered to your front door, which means that time spent waiting for orders does not count towards the $20 per hour figure that Uber cited when justifying their retaliatory removal of the tipping option at checkout. We're proud to have the support of Workers' Justice Project, Los Deliveristas Unidos, and the National Employment Law Project. Lastly, I wanted to touch on two really quick things. The first, in response to the individual in the room who inquired about residential parking, I checked with our legislative team very quickly, and they've informed me that DOT is doing a study on residential parking permits, which you guys heard, but we are monitoring that closely and we're waiting to see what comes out of it. Additionally, Councilwoman Carmen de la Rosa reintroduced Bill 674, which Councilmember Abreu has already requested to be added as a co-sponsor, and that should be reflected on the council website soon. I am happy to share the legislation link with Victor tomorrow. I also know that we're pressed for time, but I did want to check in with Victor about the request he made to me about West 145th Street through West 145th Street at the committee meeting. I'm happy to check in tomorrow if you think that's better regarding the double parked cars. But I did.
Tomorrow will be better.
Okay, yes, perfect. So I'll call you and brief you on that. But I did check in.
Okay, great.
And that's all for tonight. Have a good night, guys, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary, Danny's office.
Danny O'Donnell's office on the line.
I am. Thank you. Sorry, I have an unstable internet connection, but I hope you can hear me well. I have just an event to share and an update for you guys. So we have our next breast cancer free mammogram testing will be on Sunday, May 5th. This will be at 991 Amsterdam Avenue, which is the corner of 109th and Amsterdam Avenue. So if you would like to make an appointment, it is highly recommended that you do. You can just give our office a call at 212-866-3970. And that's going to be Sunday, May 5th from 9 a.m. to 4:30. The other update, which I don't know if the chair will speak about this, but it's about the elevator lobby meeting that we had yesterday. It was a really productive meeting, I would say. We heard some positive updates from Columbia and the MTA about the project moving along. It seems like there have been designs that Columbia shared with the MTA, and the MTA will be commenting on those designs. So hopefully later this summer, we will have some more optimistic updates from both of them, but they seem fairly optimistic, both of these agencies. So we do too, and we hope that at some point we'll have an elevator there. Obviously, we still hope that the escalators will be widened at this station. So we hope to see that at least sometime much sooner than the elevators. But those are my two updates for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. DA's office, Ms. Lujan.
Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Orlando.
Oh, see her. Okay. Okay, she left. Al Taylor's office. Zoya, I think it's on.
Over here, in person today.
Yay, excellent.
Hello, good evening. Very happy to be here and see everyone's face in person. I will keep this as brief as possible. The assembly member is in Albany and is hoping to be passing the budget. As some of you guys may know, they are 17 days over the deadline at the moment. So we anticipate there being an update. Please keep a lookout on your email. We anticipate our office will be providing an update sometime tomorrow. That being said, there was somebody who mentioned concerns about cannabis distribution and sales that are happening through these convenience stores. And Assembly will be voting on a bill, A8428A, if you would like to look into that, and I'm more than happy to connect with whoever that was. And this bill permits municipalities to enforce licensure requirements on retail dispensaries by closing retail locations which sell cannabis without a license, and allows the seizure of the instrumentally of these unlawful sales. This is not the only bill as a part of this campaign. There's also several more, and our office will be providing updates on that as well. And I will keep it on that on the legislative side, but again, our office will be making more announcements in the coming week. This Saturday, we have a couple events going on. We have a free shred event that will be happening at Esplanade Garden. This is an effort with AARP for safety and personal information as well. We will be having another event on May 18th, and I will provide flyers to CB9 so that those can be distributed. And most importantly, we will be hosting a listening tour. This is an opportunity to speak to the assembly member, raise any concerns that you may have about the community, and speak in a more one-on-one casual manner, so you can get more time to address the issues that are important to you. That will be happening at Church of St. Catherine Genoa on 153rd Street between Amsterdam and Broadway. That is all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I believe we have a representative from the Public Advocate's Office. No.
Good evening, everybody.
Go ahead.
You have can you hear me well?
Yes.
Fantastic. Solomon Acevedo, he, him pronouns. I am the Deputy Public Advocate for Housing and Health Equity. Just wanted to share some legislative updates with you all. I don't know if you have heard, but Daniel Obshalom has been the #1 on our worst landlord list for the last 2 years. And now he's actually about to face real accountability for negligence. Last month, he was arrested behind some of the most dangerous buildings in the city. And he will be facing accountability as a bad actor for putting profit over people. And so just wanted to reiterate the long tail of justice and how working to be people who raise their voices around injustice helps us to collectively improve conditions for people across the city. Also wanted to flag that the Public Advocate released a proposal to prevent e-bike battery fires by distributing fireproof battery storage bags. Lithium-ion batteries used in e-bikes continue to cause an alarming number of fires citywide, and the Public Advocate is calling for the city to invest in fireproof battery storage containers to distribute to delivery drivers citywide. And these bags are low cost, less than $20 each. And for a relatively small expense, the city can provide these bags to each and every delivery worker who needs one. And it's a simple, cost-effective solution that will ultimately save New York City money and, most importantly, save lives in our city. So we are super grateful for all of your support and always working on our behalf to be able to impact our communities in the way that they should, and especially around tenant rights and housing. The Public Advocate just 2 weeks ago was actually arrested in a protest standing for New York State equitable New York State housing panelists. So a housing deal. Sorry, I'm reading these comments as they come up. And we're aiming to continue to put pressure on our city to make sure that things like COPA and COTs are moving along. And so any issue that folks want to raise in that realm, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat shortly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Acevedo. Is Tiffany Brown here from the mayor's office?
She was virtual. She left.
Oh, she left? Anyone from Senator Claire's office or Assemblywoman Dickens' office, Congressman Espaillat's office, The DA's office we called.
DA's office was here.
Yeah, she left. Okay, is Antonio Vincent?
Yeah.
From an office? All right, if you can find out, let me know. Otherwise, for the moment, we will jump into our action items.
Yes.
Our chair had an unavoidable issue that he had to go deal with, so I will be chairing the rest of the meeting. Okay, the first item is a letter of support, a ratification of a letter of support regarding proposed M100 routing changes and associated curb regulation changes on St. Nicholas Avenue between 124th and 125th Streets. This is out of transportation,
Executive.
Exact, okay. Monique, what was can you give us a summary?
I cannot. She wasn't.
Okay, the M100 is being extended slightly. If you remember, during the Bronx Bus redesign, it was terminated at Amsterdam and 125th Street. It is now being extended to 124th and St. Nicholas. They will be doing some curb regulation changes as well. This is a ratification of an exec item.
Yes, and they gave a presentation at our last general board meeting.
I see.
PowerPoint presentation.
So in that case, we are voting to reaffirm time-sensitive action that was taken by the executive committee last Thursday.
Unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent has been requested by John Martin Green, seconded by Reverend Caldwell. Is there any opposition to adopting this by unanimous consent? Going once, going twice? It is affirmed. The next item is a resolution regarding installation of no idling signs in truck loading commercial zones within CB9. It is in your packet. This comes out of transportation?
No.
Health.
Sorry, Hal.
Who's presenting?
But yeah, it was in, that one should be in the medicine.
It's in the packet. Does anyone have any questions for the health committee about the reso? All right. Tina Lumley's request unanimous consent. John Martin Green has seconded. Does anyone oppose the adoption of this resolution calling for no idling signs in commercial truck loading commercial zones within CB9? Going once, going twice. It has been adopted.
How am I supposed to answer?
Oh, Carolyn, you object and you want me to do a roll call?
No, I'm not. Excuse me?
Are you objecting to?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay, cool. Next, the next reso is regarding alleviating illegal parking and its implications for public safety and health on 145th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. This goes through the double parking by various agencies, including schools, the NYPD, MTA. We are concerned, emergency vehicles are delayed, pedestrians are forced into dangerous situations, hydrants are blocked.
Not true.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we increase the area to Convent Avenue, 145 to 150 or something like that? Because we have a serious problem on 149th Street with double parking. Very serious.
I am going to ask that be taken up at a later issue. This, yeah, at the Uniform Services Committee. Yeah, I know that. So these highlights that are blank, do we have information to fill them in?
Yes, I just wanted to emphasize the establishment of a task force and that executive committee. Daria offered a suggestion that we incorporated. It's not worded exactly the way your resolution was, but it does incorporate consideration of closed lanes, bike lanes, vis-a-vis congestion, and public safety.
Yes, but
so it incorporates.
It would read, well, what I suggested is it resolved that the task force, which had already been mentioned, will analyze the impact of recent street redesigns on public health, safety, traffic, and quality of life at CB9.
And so just to tell us where that goes, what bullet point is it?
It did not.
Where would you put it if it were printed?
More like
This be 0.9?
It was included in, Jaria and Barry was included, in number 2, be further resolved.
Yes.
Barry,
It's above that too, where I have a blank.
1 second, Carolyn.
Reference to the resolution number 2, therefore be it resolved that for the record, Community Board 9 did not vote to approve a single lay data. Please refer to MCB9. And that's the resolution that Daria mentioned, but I don't have the data per resolution. So it's number 2.
This is, okay, pause. I'm gonna try to sort this out very quickly. Before I get to Carolyn, Daria, have we passed a resolution on this topic yet?
no.
No, not this.
Okay, so we should, so Laquita, friendly amendment, can we strike 0.2, the first 2 under therefore be it resolved on the second page, back of the first page?
Yeah.
Okay, stricken. And Carolyn, yes.
No, I was gonna say the same thing because that doesn't belong there on 2.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just strike it.
Is there any debate, further amendments to this item?
Yes, what I just read.
Where does that go?
In under be it resolved. After they say that they will have a task force.
Yep.
At the second be it further resolved.
So in between existing 1 and 2, under that?
After they say they will establish a task force, it could be anywhere that says the task force will analyze the impact of recent street design on public health, safety, traffic, and quality of life. And I know that they mentioned that they were going to look at the bike lane, which is spelled instead of bio lane. I think that's bike lane. It says some impact, but it only says public health in the bike lane.
Okay.
It doesn't specifically say the
I think in
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I think in 2 it whereas that emergency vehicles cannot get through, that's not quite right. Okay.
I mean, we've seen delays. So hold on, let's just wrap this. So Derek,
Okay, go ahead.
Put your language at the end of what's currently under bullet point 1 on the 3rd page. So therefore be it further resolved.
Okay.
Liquid, is that a friendly amendment?
Yeah, it's what you sent to me. Okay.
Okay. So has been amended twice. We have stricken bullet point 2 on the 2nd page, and we have added Daria's language to bullet point 1 on the 3rd page. Any further debate, questions, comments, amendments? All right. And I'll call a question.
Call the question.
Okay, well, I guess.
With amendments. With the amendment.
Okay, John Martin Green has requested unanimous consent. Daria has seconded. Is there any opposition to this resolution as amended? No. I need to, if you oppose it, say something now. Going once, going twice. All right, adopted by unanimous consent. Thank you, everybody, for your cooperation. We are going to go to the liquor licenses, and then we will get to, you want to do Gaza first? Okay. All right, so I counted that as 19.
There's another resolution.
Yeah, can we, for numbering simplicity, can we just make Gaza 19? Okay, liquor licenses. Carolyn, I believe Solomon.
Barry, Barry, at the last minute, we did not vote on the 8 last month. But there's 4 additional ones that recently came.
I told him, Carolyn.
Yes.
Okay.
It's doubled up from last month.
Okay. Right. The first one is Little Street Lounge on Hamilton Place. The second is El Maison 23515 Broadway. And the third is Morningside Park Cafe.
That's the additional. Correct.
Yeah.
Those are the new applicants.
Oh, okay. And El Maison dealt with their illegal?
Yes, the shed was taken down.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Okay. That I got.
And you're recommending these be approved?
On the 8th, yes.
Okay. Tina Lumley has requested unanimous consent. April Adams has seconded.
I abstained.
We have 2 abstentions, Reverend Caldwell and Heather. Is anyone opposed to recommending these liquor licenses? Going once, going twice. All right, they have been recommended for approval with noting 2 abstentions, by Reverend Caldwell and Heather. Yes. All right. Next, we have renewals of liquor licenses for Chopped Parsley. What is 1600 Amsterdam Group? Fumo, okay. The Heights Bar and Grill, Dun Huang, Upper West Side, Arts and Crafts Beer Parlor, Gin Ramen on Broadway, up the north one, Hamilton Heights, and Sugar Cafe, that weird empty one. And Uptown Bourbon.
That's out of the new.
It's in chat.
They've all been approved.
All right, they have been recommended for approval.
Barry?
Yes, Carolyn.
On Uptown Bourbon?
Yeah.
It's not that one. On Bono? Bono has a corporate change in reference to one current shareholder has now become 100%.
Yeah, we're just doing renewals.
Right. Did you hear what I said, Barry?
Yes, we'll get to them. So Shanika requested unanimous consent. Is there a second? Seconded by Ilana. Abstentions from Reverend Caldwell and Heather. Does anyone oppose the recommendation of these renewals of these liquor licenses? Speak now. Going once, going twice. They have been approved by unanimous consent with 2 abstentions. All right, Carolyn, now we're at the corporate change for Bono.
For Bono, yes, one stockholder had 50%, now going to get 100%. That's the corporate change for Bono.
Okay, so one partner is buying out the other. Others.
For Bus Stop, which is a upgrade of their liquor license for a full liquor license, which is a class change.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's just do the corporate change.
Unanimous consent.
Signy's requesting unanimous consent for the corporate, seconded by Dr. Mungoya. 2 abstentions. All right. Anyone opposed? Going once, going twice. All right. Now the class changes, Carolyn.
That's for Bus Stop Cafe from a lower grade license to a full grade liquor license.
Okay.
Which means they had wine and beer. Now they want to have the upgrade to liquor.
Yes. So they want full liquor.
Right.
What is Four Brothers Food Market?
No, this is Bus Stop.
Yes, you explained Bus Stop, but there are 2 other class changes on the sheet. There is one for Sugar Cafe and Four Brothers Food Market and Deli.
Four Brothers wanted to expand their food in their store, as opposed from a deli to a full food.
Oh, but not alcohol?
No, just food.
Okay.
Who is that?
That's a convenience store on Amsterdam and 140. No, 148, 149. No, wait. Oh, 1712.
Right.
Okay, it said 712 on there. Okay, yeah.
1712.
Yeah, it's 1712 Amsterdam Avenue. Okay.
And where is that? 140.
Oh, that's the Mexican deli market. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right, they want more food. Fine. And Sugar Cafe.
Okay.
Again.
I've got to go back into them to find out. That was
You'd be the first to go into it from what I've seen.
Hold on.
They have music and stuff sometimes.
I know. Yeah, but has anyone ever ordered anything that you can eat or drink? Carolyn,
I don't remember, Barry, what they were asking for. I think she was asking for to upgrade her liquor license, because I called them. Okay. To upgrade it. Yeah.
Well, they've never been a problem.
Carolyn, from what I remember, I think they have beer and cider.
Gary, I had PD check them, okay? And according to them, they have a liquor license already. So I think that one is just a second one that they put in.
All right, well, we'll vote on it anyway. These three class changes.
Unanimous.
Tiago has requested unanimous consent, seconded by Monique. Abstention from Reverend Caldwell and Heather. Does anyone oppose these class change applications? Going once, going twice, speak now, gone. Okay, approved by unanimous consent. Now, we have done all of that. We are on item 19, which was amended and added to the agenda. Rezo calling for the immediate withdrawal of American financial and military support of Israel in its Gaza bombardment. I believe you are presenting.
Should I go up here?
Sure, yeah, you can go up there. Yes, it's in your packet, it's a pink sheet. Yes.
There's a resolution in your packet. I'm sure most of you know what's going on right now in our name. There is a slaughter going on. We're paying for it, and we're going to pay for it in other ways too, because the rest of the world isn't going to tolerate us supporting mayhem around the world. This is something I've been very concerned about for a very long time, because the people in Gaza have been subjected to periodic slaughters for the last 70 years. And I've often thought about, especially because I'm older than most people here, that it was always amazing to people why Germans allowed what happened to the Jews during the Holocaust to happen. And if we don't say something now that we don't want our money to go to kill mainly women and children, a whole area, city, town, hospital, schools, we don't know how many people have been killed because their bodies are underneath the rubble. The last horrendous thing I heard was the IDF went into Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza, got the doctors out of there, forced a nurse out of a natal unit. The infants were on respirators. IDF forced them out. 2 days later, they found the infants were dead and their bodies were riddled by maggots and eaten by dogs. This is what we're paying for. So I felt there are other community boards across the country that have spoken up about this, and I thought it would be right for us to do so, especially since there's so much repression about any support for the Palestinians going on, just like we just heard about what's going on in Columbia.
May I propose an amendment, Lydia, and you can decide whether or not it's friendly?
Sure.
The last two words by Israel now, I would just say by all combatants, I would request that.
Where is that?
The last two words.
No, I don't approve of that. No.
All right, my only point is that besides Israel, Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, both Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen and Iran are also actively firing weapons in that area, and a ceasefire should defeat
that's a
everything.
little confusion of the issue right now. Okay, as far as I know, Hamas and Hezbollah and Houthis are trying to avoid non-combatant slaughter.
But it's American dollars being used to fund those other combatants.
No.
So I think that's the main point, is to stop the American dollars use of warfare and genocide.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that, therefore be it resolved. It was just the ceasefire. A ceasefire by definition involves more than one party.
Yes.
So it's all. Point. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So can I request a vote on my amendment then? Oh, Reverend Morgan Thomas.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, Barry. Why don't we vote on the amendment, on your amendment?
Yeah.
Because I have some concerns about that wording as well. So I think we should vote on it, because there's more than Israel shooting and bombing. You know, there are all of those groups that were cited are also shooting off rockets and bombing, and we don't know which ones are.
And
we are funding people getting killed.
Yes, no one is arguing that point.
May I make a different amendment?
Yeah.
Can we, instead of saying demanding a ceasefire, then we are demanding the disuse of our funds towards the war?
Well, that's the first, therefore be it
I
resolved.
know, but I'm just trying to, because as you mentioned, the ceasefire has to include everyone's firing. So I'm just, someone help me out.
Can we just say a ceasefire?
I would also accept the ceasefire.
Can I suggest a friendly amendment?
To my amendment?
Or then let's just remove the last,
I mean, I think we support a ceasefire.
we have been supporting Israel in this.
Lydia, no one is arguing about that. No, I'm not. I am, the therefore be it resolved calls on us to stop funding that. The second, therefore be it resolved, calls for a ceasefire. It's two different points. The money, the fighting. And if you have a ceasefire, you cannot have one side cease firing without all sides ceasing fire.
Palestine is not attacking anybody.
Palestine killed, okay, nope.
Everybody over there is shooting and killing everybody right now.
All right, I am calling on
I vote to have the last line removed.
last three words for the last.
Last line, because the first therefore summarizes everything that you want. The first therefore says that we want to stop sending that money there.
So you want to remove be it further resolved?
That's my amendment.
I mean, I think we should support a ceasefire though.
I know, but it gets convoluted as we see.
Yeah, let's just, I agree, let's just demand a ceasefire.
I agree with that.
I want to find a way to support it, so.
Yeah, demand a ceasefire, period.
Ceasefire.
All right, I'm gonna call for a vote on Liz's amendment to removing the last three words. All right, I'm gonna call it, it's been seconded. We are voting on an amendment to Lydia's resolution to remove the last three words so that it just says calling for a ceasefire.
We approve the amendment first.
So we are voting on, it's a friendly amendment?
Okay.
Okay, all right, then we don't have to vote on it. Okay. Any other discussion, debate?
Wait a minute, hold on. I have one thing, I want to add something in this.
Yeah.
If I may, I just want, tearing up my own clothes. Well, that's my phone. I just want to add something for us to view on St. Nicholas Avenue in front of the train station of 100.
No. We do that under older new business.
Sorry, never mind.
You're good. Any other debate on this?
No, are we clear what the amendment is?
Yeah.
So just read the last whereas all. All right.
So, all right. I will read it. So I don't see a hand. Okay, Edwin, give me a second. It's been, so the last therefore be it resolved will say, therefore, let it be further resolved that Community Board 9 joins with Americans across the country demanding a ceasefire. Period. All right, Edwin.
Now, what about the one in front of it?
Say what? Okay, so you do not consent. Okay, we're gonna do a roll call vote. But is there any further debate or amendments? We rushed through the liquor licenses to have a little bit more time to debate this if anyone wants. But if hearing no debate, I will call the roll. April Adams.
Barry, I'm sorry. Barry, are we saying that we're just saying ceasefire? We're not saying by all combatants?
It's just ceasefire.
Okay.
Implied. Okay. April Adams.
Yeah.
April Adams is a yes. Joyce Adamume.
Yes.
Walter Alexander. Patricia Caldwell.
Yes.
Juan Colmenares.
No.
Carlton Davis.
I'm confused. I need clarification.
What is the question?
I want to know what is your actually what is the go back and forth, because as far as I see, Israel been bombing Palestine.
The time to have raised this question was when I asked, is there any more comment or debate? So do you have a vote? Okay, I will, so you're voting no, or you're abstaining? Abstaining. Okay, Ms. Dunn.
Yes.
Ms. Dunn votes yes. Elizabeth Eastman abstains. Victor Edwards, I believe. Lydia Garrison. Yes. Daria Hardiman. Daria is abstaining. Monique.
Yes.
Laquita Henry.
Laquita, you're up. Yes.
Michael Iglesias. Abstains. Heather Jason. Abstains. Pat Watler Johnson. Pat? She leaves? All right. Tiago Keel. Tiago votes yes?
Yeah.
Ted Kovalev.
No, he's not having technical problems. He has technical problems, Barry.
Okay. Ted, if you can put it in the chat, maybe that would help. Tina Lumley.
Yeah.
Tina's a yes. John Martin Green.
Yes.
John Martin Green is a yes. Ilana Mercado. Ilana? Dr. Mongoya.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Deirdre is here. Oh,
She's Deirdre?
virtual. Deirdre McIntosh Brown.
Yep. Deirdre, how do you vote? I don't see Deirdre. Okay. Reverend Morgan Thomas.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, Deirdre?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to her and Ted. Signey.
Yes.
Solomon. Annette.
Yes.
Clayton.
Yes.
Carolyn.
Yes.
Edwin. Liz. Liz Whitetakis.
Yes.
Francina Waring. Barry Weinberg, yes. Shanika Wilson.
Yes.
Elisa Yu.
Absent.
Absent, okay. I was coming back to Ted and Deirdre.
Barry.
Yes, Carolyn.
Ted has technical problems.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, I've finally been promoted.
Hi, Deirdre.
Hi, Barry. Thank you. I vote yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Deirdre McIntosh. Yes. Okay. In the not calling Ted's vote, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 yeses.
Only 22 for me. 22 yes.
Well, I'll double check. An abstention, or we have 2 no's, right? Ilana's not here. Abstentions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Yes.
You abstained?
Yeah, I abstained.
Okay, so 6 abstentions, 22 yeses.
Right.
And Ted didn't put anything in the chat, did he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 22 now.
Yeah, 22.
Okay.
22 out of 38.
Yep, 22 out of 38 with 6 abstentions and 2 no's. Now, Reverend Caldwell, you had new or old business?
New business.
Yes.
Okay. On St. Nicholas Avenue at 147th Street on the downtown side, there is now existing a fruit stand that expands to the point upon which that we as people who live over the subway, who are having a lot of problems with rats and rodents, people stopping me in the street, asking me to please bring this to the community board. I ask that we look into the situation to make sure that, first of all, is this man licensed? And he is not wanted at that corner. So I ask that we consider that all of those type of situations or setups be placed on the main avenues as 145th Street, but not within in the neighborhood where people live and reside.
Where's this?
Barry, is that a truck?
No, it's a fruit stand.
The fruit stand.
Okay.
147 St. Nick.
It just comes up at the entrance of
It
the
expands from, say, the corner, that corner chair to where I'm standing.
The northwest entrance.
Yeah, okay?
Yeah.
And the people are standing there with dogs, it's getting ready to get a little volatile. I ask that, I don't know what can be done, but I ask that we all.
Fruit vendors have to be licensed.
Take a look at that.
I think by DCWP. Yeah, so.
But they just don't want it at that location.
Well, we will talk to DCWP.
I will ask and we'll ask PD.
Thank you.
Reverend Morgan
Barry?
Thomas, you hand up. You still have your hand up, or is that a legacy hand?
My hand's not up. Is it lower it?
Carolyn.
No, I said I will ask PD if they have a vendor's license. If not, then they can shut them down.
Okay.
License is supposed to be on this.
Is there any old or new business other than that?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Member Lumley has moved to adjourn. April
So
Adams.
moved. So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
9:17 for adjourned.
So can this be changed?